Hey, everybody. I have a very special guest today because my doctor friend and I have a long history together. I'm going to tell you about it in a minute, but let's say hi to Dr. Kim Vanderlinden, who runs Hope Science. They make the new Active Again products. Welcome, Kim. It's always great being with you.
Well, nice to see you too.
And I'm excited about a whole bunch of things today and all the stuff we talked about previous. But, for me, and I said this to you, I have to tell our members how we met. So Kim was at a trade show. I'm walking the trade show. They had a story about a dog who was using their product and it would help with inflammation. I thought, well, crap, I have inflammation. And that started Kim and I down the same road. So I will tell you in full disclosure, I've been a user of, how long? How many years, Kim, have I been a user of ePack?
7 years, 8 years, I don't know, a long time.
Well, I attribute a lot of it to keeping me healthy, and we're going to talk about that in a sec. But Kim, so much of the wellness world relates to the outside of the body, right? We use product, we use body wraps, we do all kinds of things, but what about the inside of the body?
Well, obviously the inside, the number one thing in medicine is inflammation. Because whether you're talking about cancer or heart disease or pain, diabetes, asthma, all the main pathologies have something to do with inflammation. And so that really, the quest is always to be, what could we do to find something natural and safe for inflammation?
Well, you've come up with my magic pill because it's part of my daily regimen. Now, I never want to say it's like, the guys in the old West who always did the elixirs on they were selling garbage, but you're selling to me, what is this real elixir? And to me, Active Again is, I just can't imagine how I would be without it. Do you want to tell our listeners, give us a really short history on it and why for people like me, it seems to work so well?
So basically, as a naturopath, I've dealt with all the natural anti-inflammatories. For me, this is the one that has the most clinical impact. I've worked with ginger and curcumin and enzymes, all of those. But really, this one makes the most sense of all of them. And at the end of the day, what it is, when we talk about inflammation is really kind of the process of aging. So as we get older, we inflame more. That's why when you're older, there's more issues with arthritis, etc. So at the end of the day, what this is an oil, and it's clinically far more profound than fish oil. I love fish oil. We have in our family we consume a lot of fish. But clinically, this is far more profound. And so it's from beef, ironically. And so we think of red meat as causing inflammation, and it's true. But what this oil is a small percentage, maybe 2% of the beef. So they just basically distill it out. And it's kind of like rocket fuel. And yourself, because you had the back pain and things. So what I tell patients, that the process of aging is really one of, inflammation. When we're really one of drying out. Young kids, they're moist. Our grandparents are dry. That's really drying out. This is just a lubricant that has the function of really reducing inflammation.
I'm glad you said that as a lubricant, because you've heard me say this 100 times to you, right? It's like, for me, it's like the oil in my body that keeps me lubricated. I can't describe it any other way.
Well, all our cells, a little complicated, but our cells are basically oil. The outside of the cell. Inside the cell is water. Outside the cell is a fat membrane, and then there's water on the outside. So really, the cell membrane is oil, and it divides inside the cell from outside the cell. So almost all pathology has something to do with that cell membrane, the oil. So it really makes a healthy cell membrane.
Well, and you mentioned, I wrote the word, always with the cheat notes, right? Because I can't remember everything. And that is not an aging issue. There's too many moving pieces, right? The aging, especially in the wellness world, when we talk about wellness minutes, a lot of it relates to aging. The fact is, what do they say? 60 is the new 40 or 80 is the new 60 or what?
I'm 60, so.
You don't look 60 though at all. So, but I know that in our industry, people want to feel younger. They want to act younger. I don't like actually when people say anti-aging. We're all aging. You're not fighting the aging process,
No.
but I want to age well. And
yeah, and you slow down the aging process. It's really the speed of aging, right? So this is just really, non-scientific. It's really slowing down the aging process, because of course we age, but we age quickly. The more inflammation, the quicker we age, essentially.
Well, and we're going to come back. We're going to talk harder about inflammation on the next subject, because it's a big part of, I recognize it this year when I've told you I have this inflammation problem, and I booted up my active again that I'm taking, and now it seems to have mitigated itself somewhere along the way. But the one last thing that I want to quickly talk to you about is the fact that I started by saying we take care of the outside of the body very well. But you cannot deny that you need the proper nutritional supplements to take care of the 50% that makes up the inside of the body, right?
Absolutely. It's just and the outside is often reflective of the inside. So it's reflective of the inside. So really, in this case, the active ingredient oils, and we've got a lot of clinical studies, really remarkable studies they've never been able to achieve before. Peer-reviewed, published journals. It's really the question that this is a great lubricant that is able to. We know clinically the symptoms, but functionally, it's really the amount of lubrication that's taking place, whether it's your knees or your hips or your back. I mean, that's mostly what we think about, right? But reality is almost all pathologies, whether more colitis, more colon cancer, more inflammation in lungs, more asthma. So,
Kim, I want to finish with one thing as well. This is not just your grandfather's medicine. I mean, I run into people in our trade business all the time. They're in their 20s and their 30s, but they're complaining their hip hurts or the elbow's not working right, or my shoulder has tendonitis. So it doesn't really matter. Like you said, you're spongy when you're young, you're dry when you're old, but it's not exactly the same for everyone. So there isn't really an age limit on it.
No, but I think, I deal with a lot of chiropractors use our product,
right?
Massage therapists, and they're often really bad shape. Why? Because they're bending over all the time. I mean, it's just, you could be 25 years old, massage therapist, but if you've been bending over for 5 years, you're going to have a sore back, or your wrists are going to be sore. Chiropractors are the same. If you go to the conferences, the ones that have been practicing for 20 years, well, they love our medicine simply because it actually reverses a lot of the damage they've done just because of the bending over.
Well, generally in our industry, we're our own best users as well. So Kim, thank you. And for our regular listeners, I'm putting Hope Science, Dr. Kim's info on the next screen. So stick it out, reach out to them. I swear to God, if you start using this product, you'll go, oh my God, it feels like manna from heaven. I just can't say enough good things about Active again. I really can't. And I'm going to look forward to coming back and talking about inflammation with you as well.
All right, great. Thanks.
Thanks, Dr. Kim. Always a pleasure.